Hi, my name is Alanya, but my students know me as Miss Huang. I'm a 7th grade math teacher, and every year I do a video on the lessons I learned from that year of teaching. So this is my 5 things I learned in my 3rd year of teaching. So the first lesson that I learned is the less I take seriously and personally, the more that I enjoy teaching. So at the beginning of the school year, because I was new to my school, I was new to DISD, I just moved to Dallas, I stayed at the school late, sometimes even until 8, 9 p.m. And I made sure that I graded everything. It just was a lot, pressure that I put on myself to try to do everything and be everything. So during second semester, I finally loosened up. I think I was just stressed out because of all the new expectations that I was learning and the new structures, the routines that my new school had. But second semester, because I had a better understanding of what was expected of me and what I needed to do, I definitely didn't take things as seriously and personally. I took my job seriously, but I didn't take every single responsibility that was thrown my way and get stressed out about it. And I think that's even true for comments that other teachers, my coworkers, or even students would make. I understood that there were other factors that could have been behind, comments that I would have taken personally. I think that I just enjoyed teaching more. Because everyone's gonna have off days and everyone's gonna have something to say, but as long as you don't take it too personally and seriously, it won't affect the way that you carry on. So anyone who's a teacher knows that teaching gets really hard, but building relationships with students and coworkers makes the days so much easier. So whether that's us eating, as someone brought tacos, or we're doing a potluck style lunch, or someone organized for us to order in food, those bonding moments, even though our lunch was pretty short, it was like 20 minutes, just made the day go by easier. Just the laughs and the connection and the relationship with my coworkers. I dove right in to trying to connect with my coworkers. So anytime that we're joining to pay for a gift card or sending flowers for bereavement, I always took part and joined in that. And I think that that made people feel more like I was a part of the team, that I was putting in effort. And giving students personalized gifts once I'd gotten to know them, and I would celebrate student birthdays during the school year, so just giving them a little goodie bag of candy or school supplies, and just building positive relationships so that students and even my coworkers would do something that I asked of them. So if I needed a favor, making the effort to meet the teachers and meet the students where they're at allowed them to want to make the effort to meet me where I was at. And so I know that a big part of teaching, especially at Title I schools, so schools that students are coming from low income backgrounds, is getting the students to like you so that they'll do the work for you. I know that that sounds like a controversial statement, but if you work in those schools, you would definitely understand. As I build confidence in myself as an adult, I improve in my confidence in my teaching and classroom presence. So I don't let the kids challenge my authority, and I handle it a lot calmer than I used to. Sometimes I even laugh it off and the kids are like, why is she laughing? And I try not to engage in the power struggles the way that I used to. I'm confident in my authority and in my belief that I can control the classroom. A part of this is that I also learned that seniority and age doesn't necessarily mean that someone is better qualified for a leadership role. I was being offered leadership roles, and I questioned myself and my abilities. In my second year of teaching, I was offered the position to be the lead special education teacher. On the one hand, I saw myself as capable. On the other hand, I was really doubtful of why was this position given to me, and I'm the youngest and I have the least teaching and working experience, and will people even respect me? I had all of these anxieties because I wasn't so confident in myself and my abilities. And I think I've finally gotten to the point where I understand that someone's age or their seniority in a profession doesn't necessarily make them better fit for a leadership role. And I think before I definitely equated age and seniority to being better qualified. That leads into my fourth lesson, learning to say no and advocating for myself. So I'm the type of person who wants to get everything done that's asked of me and to the best of my ability, even if I have to make personal sacrifices. And when you start off being the new member of a team, or when you're one of the youngest, people might feel like they can take advantage of you, or they ask you to do things for them, even just to take on, more responsibilities. It's not necessarily like a negative thing. This year I learned to say no, and so I turned down the position of being the lead 7th grade math teacher at my school. I just didn't feel like I was ready. I want to do a good job being the lead, but I had to learn all new standards. I had to learn all new structures. I didn't know what CISD expected of me as a teacher, since they have the teacher evaluation initiative. So it's, set criteria on what they expect, a rubric basically, and what they expect of teachers. And so I was just really overwhelmed by all of these factors, and I just didn't think I could do a good job this year being lead. That leads me to being lead of 7th grade math next school year. The fifth lesson is deciding what each of my classes need and treating them all differently. So I came from a background of teaching 6th, 7th, and 8th grade special education math for 2 years. I just thought that each of my classes were different because it was different grades, and so that's different levels of maturities. But teaching 3 classes of 7th grade math, I've realized that no, each of your classes has to be, treated differently, because there's different personalities in the class and it's different times of days. My first class acted, different than my after lunch class, and even my last class. So I had to learn what each of my classes' strengths were and what worked best for which time of the day. So I incorporated brain breaks for my after lunch class and then my afternoon class, just because at that point they've had other classes all day, and lunch made them a little excited and they had this extra energy, but I didn't necessarily need that for my first class of the day. Some classes, earn privileges quicker, while other classes struggled to even earn one. I had to determine what the students in each of my classes needed and what kind of redirection or consequences worked best for each set of students, because it wasn't the same thing. I incorporated more choices. So I had class points and students were able to choose what they were working towards. And my assumption of what they would want was sometimes different from what they actually ended up choosing. Those are the 5 lessons I learned in my 3rd year of teaching.